what have you seen from that group, and what can you do to make guys catch the ball more consistently?
Well, I think for the most part, we have caught the ball much better this training camp. However, we've got to continue to eliminate the drops. We're making progress in that direction. The positive thing, and we said this today, our young wide receivers are getting open. Now we just got to at times finish the plays on a more consistent basis. And I'm really happy with that group in terms of their technique and ability to get open. And I think we need to improve in the next 2 weeks on this consistency of catching the ball. Drops are going to happen, missed throws are going to happen, but as coaches and as an offensive unit, we're trying to be perfect. And at the end of the day, that's not going to be possible, but we're going to try to accomplish that goal.
Scott, you gave Logan kind of a crash course before spring and through spring, and kind of gave him a homework for the summer kind of stuff. How far, and I know out your office window you could see how some of that stuff was going, but how is he different, and how much is he what you kind of targeted him to be, coming back?
I think it started out a little slow at the first couple of days. I'm really happy where he's going and where he's going to be. I think the guy has got all the intangibles. I think he's got all the physical traits. He's becoming extremely aggressive. He's being decisive. And at the end of the day, when you're aggressive and you're decisive and you know what to do, you're an older guy. Like Coach Beamer said earlier, this is his team, and we need him to do all the things that he needs to do. Doesn't mean he needs to go outside the box and be Superman. The minute you try to be Superman is whenever you press and you try to make mistakes occur because you're pressing and trying to do too much. He needs to do his job, and that's what we're focusing on. But I thought in practice 4 and 5, I saw exactly what I envisioned him being and where he's going to go.
Coach was also in here talking about how there's still unsettled positions. There's lots of people competing. At this point, is that a good thing, or would you prefer to have guys having already stepped forward and said, this is my job?
Yeah, I think that's a great question. I think you'd always love to have that veteran group coming back. At some positions we do have that, and at others we don't. I think as a coach, I think as an offensive staff, I think it's really, really challenging and really fun. We get to take some guys at certain positions and mold them and get them to where they need to be. Is it going to happen overnight? No. Do we want it to happen overnight? Yes. But it's going to be a process with some guys, and that's why it's really, really important that our older guys that have been there in the fray and that have kind of done it play well.
Scott, because of just the guy's local for us, have you been surprised at all with what you've seen from Dion Newsome, or is it more a situation because of depth issues at receiver? You have to put him out there and you have to see what he offers, and if he's impressed you, is he one of those guys that maybe could contribute as a true freshman?
Yeah, that's I think just watching the Newsome is a very good young player, and to say that we're giving everyone reps right now at that position, so I don't know if we can just single out him right now. I mean, he's getting a lot of snaps, but they're all getting a lot of snaps right now, so to single him out right now, I don't know if that's fair. But he's having a good camp.
Scott, you've known Logan for about 8 months now. Is anything struck you as surprising about him, from maybe what your first impressions were when you met him?
No, I wish to goodness that I could coach him the rest of my career, to say the least. I love being around him. He's competitive. I think his leadership has really, really improved. And I just really, really enjoy working with him. He's fun to be in the meeting rooms. He knows when it's business. He also has a great personality to settle me down at times. But I absolutely really, really enjoy working with him. He's a delight.
He's got a couple guys that are moving or on the move. Carlos Parker, we saw get bumped up on the depth chart. Why did that happen? What does he bring? And Joel Caleb, talk about that position move and thinking behind that.
Carlos is, when you watched his high school tape, you saw the athleticism, you saw the explosion. He's a tall, 6'3", a little under, I believe, 200 pounds, and He's a guy that's very, very raw. He's a guy that needs a bunch of reps. The more he gets in there, the better he's going to be. And we expect for him to develop over the next couple of weeks, continue to develop during the season. And I enjoy being around him also. He's a competitive guy.
Coach, coming from the SEC, I've got to ask you, how does this program in Blacksburg compare to the SEC programs?
I've only been here for 8 months, and I was only in the SEC 2 years at Florida, a year at Auburn. Spent the majority of my life in the Big Ten, and the way that I looked at the Virginia Tech job, and the way that I've always looked at Virginia Tech from an outsider looking in, it's one of the best programs in America. What this place has done over the years is remarkable. Anytime that you win 10 ball games, 8 straight years, that's no one in the country's done that. Alabama hasn't done that. Georgia hasn't done that. Michigan, Ohio State, et cetera, USC. And any time that that you do what they've done here, it's one of the best programs in the country. They graduate people. They care about people. They do things the right way, and they win. And for Coach Beamer and the rest of the staff to do what they've done over the 20-some-odd years that Coach has been here, it's remarkable. And the way that I look at it, it's an absolute privilege and an honor, and I feel extremely responsible to help that continue.
Last question, Hank.
Scott, when you have a kid like Parker, like you said, who's raw but has lots of ability and stuff, is receiver a position where you can kind of force it along and put him in the game? You know, just kind of get him more reps in a game?
Yeah, Coach Beamer's always said this, and the numerous head coaches that I've worked for have said this. The farther you get away from the ball, the more chance a young guy has to play. That's why you don't see too many freshmen starting quarterbacks. That's why you don't see too many freshmen starting centers, linebackers. The farther you get away from the football, your job description becomes somewhat easier. I'm not going to ever discredit and say a wide receiver position is easy, because it's not. But the farther you get away from the football, I think those young guys, you see more young receivers and young DBs play than you do quarterbacks, linebackers, etc.
Thank you, Coach. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, folks.